Well, Monday.com is at it again, sharing awesome business insights and value with us just in their commercials, right? Their latest commercial, well, one of their latest commercials said that if you're serious about your business, you have to develop systems. And that is so freaking true. If you've been doing any kind of business online or in the real world for any period of time, you know that there are probably no less than 5 million things to do. I'm exaggerating by maybe a million or two, right? Marketing, branding, advertising, your actual day-to-day business stuff, the things that actually help people in their life, at their home or their business or whatever you do, right, in your business, right? That's of course important, but there are tons of back-end things, invoicing, bookkeeping, strategy, tactics. There's so many back-end things that are required to be successful in business, and that's why we need systems. You know, there's a guy, and I forget his name right now, but he wrote a book called Work the System, and I watched a few of his videos years ago. That book is on my to read list, and I may read it and put it in the big ideas section of my channel here. You can check that out at on my YouTube channel here and share those with you. But from what I know about systems is this, because I'm always looking at systems in my own business, and I'm always tweaking and refining them and asking the question, how can I make this process / systems? I kind of use process and systems interchangeably. How can I make it easier, more efficient, simpler, right? Oftentimes, and maybe you've experienced this, I will set up a process, and then over the course of actually doing the work, because that's the key, right? We're doing the work on a continual basis and always asking ourselves, how can I make this simpler? How can I make this more time efficient, right? More cost efficient, all those things. Over the process of doing that work, I end up making that prior system obsolete, right? It just happened with files for video, right? So when I shoot videos, especially on my phone and even on this on the DSLR here, I always back them up, right? I put them into, you know, on laptop, and then I leave them on the SD card, or on my phone they go up into Google Drive as an original file size, right? So that obviously takes up a bunch of space, and so I don't want to keep those up there too long. And so once I process the video and edit it and put it up on YouTube, I want to get that video off of Google or off of the SD card, so my SD card is free for future videos. And so I have a checkbox in my video content management Excel sheet, which is a Google Excel sheet. So I have a number of checkboxes, right? Did you delete the video from, well, I also have a GoPro. Did you delete the video from the GoPro SD card? Because I don't delete it from there until I've actually processed it and put it up on YouTube. So I have checkboxes. Did you delete the video from GoPro SD card? If you used the M50, did you delete the video from the M50? If you used your phone, did you delete the video from your phone memory and also from Google Photos memory, right? And then also, once I archive them, did I delete it from my machine? But I only delete those other videos once I delete it. I only delete those other videos once I processed it. So let me tell you, that was a long story, but I'm getting to my point. I just made that system obsolete just yesterday. And what I did was I bought 2 USB 3.0 128 gigabyte drives. And so those will now be my dump drives that I will put the raw video on, whether it comes from my phone or the M50 or even the GoPro. I'll back it up twice to those drives, 2 copies on those drives, and a copy on my machine that I'm going to actually work with and process while I'm editing it. And immediately after I put it on those 2 drives, just in case drives, right, I will delete it from my capture device, whether that's phone, Google Drive or Google Photos, M50, GoPro. That way, those cameras are always, those media storage devices, those SD cards on those cameras are always ready to go for new content, because maybe you've experienced this. You're ready to film something and you go to film it and you don't have space on your SD card, or maybe you don't have a battery. Simple way to solve the battery issue is just to get 2 batteries and always have one charge. That's what I do with the DSLR. That way I'm always ready to go, because probably 60% of the time, maybe 50, I'll be recording and the battery will die. I'll just pop a new one in and keep going, right? And same goes with SD cards or USB drives, right? You don't want to have technology limit you. So that's a systematic way of thinking, right? Because you're creating fail safes in your systems that allow you to keep cranking, right? You don't want to be shut down for an hour while your battery charges, right? And you don't want to have to be doing things in your business that take you time. So I omitted, and I made that system, that checklist system, in my Google Excel sheet obsolete simply by buying those 2 new drives. And it's going to save me a ton of time, because the videos that are from a long time ago, they're still up in my Google Photos, and now I'm going to go through and flush those, because it's like there are so many things to do, and you want to make sure you're doing the most important, impactful task or project in your business, which generally falls in the range of creating content, creating products and services, including courses to generate revenue for your business. Or if you're in the consulting world, maybe you're creating packages, etc. And then, of course, the main thing is sales. And this is my biggest learning curve in doing the online business, is you gotta drive sales, Mark, because I'm a creator type person, right? I go down deep rabbit holes creating things. I love graphic design, love video editing, love podcast editing. I love the whole presentation and the branding and marketing side. I love that. I geek out on that creative aspect. For me, it's a constant reminder, which I have Post-it notes around my office here, to remind me, you got to drive those sales. So sales is a system for me, right? Sales is always a system. And to that point, I want to invite you to check out my courses at gmarkphillips.com/courses. It's all about developing yourself from within. We know that our relationship with ourselves will be mirrored in the relationship we have with other people, and even with money and other experiences in our lives. And when we work on ourselves, and I don't mean personal development in the traditional way as far as, becoming better. I mean developing your relationship with yourself, which is how you see yourself and how the concept that governs the way you operate in the world, right? It's all about self-identity. I've found in 20 plus years of studying this stuff that that's the one lever we can all pull in order to create massive changes in our experience. I've seen it in my own life. I've seen it in the lives of other people. Focusing on developing the self-concept that puts you in alignment with the experiences you want to have. That way you get there faster. Otherwise, you kind of drift and can spend an enormous amount of time, like I used to do, reading personal development books and getting a lot of knowledge, but it wasn't actually moving the needle. I wasn't actually applying what I was learning. I was putting a lot in the bucket, and that's valuable to a degree, but eventually you got to do the thing. You got to take the action. And what comes prior to doing is being, right? What you are comes to you. This is the great idea from Emerson. And so working on your self-concept, if I could share one thing with anyone venturing on the personal development journey, because I've read all those books, I've been down all those paths, most of the new thought books, Magic of Believing, all of the, Napoleon Hill, Carnegie, obviously Claude Bristol, The Magic of Believing, Louise Hay, Dyer, all of those. I've done those. And there's value there. But if there's one thing you could do, it's to focus on your self-concept. That's what a lot of my courses work on, specifically the 7 pillars of personal development, which you can find at gmarkphillips.com/courses. I encourage you to check it out. It's going to collapse your time frame from years to an hour or two, right? Once you get the idea and the tool, then you just use the tool. You use the tool every day over and over again. And I share with you how to use those tools. So that's the course that I developed. But anyway, consider systems. You will not regret it. It's the only way to keep yourself sane in this digital world, this very complex, very noisy world. Systems, processes, checklists, operations manuals. And then at the top of all of those documents, whether they're digital or physical, write this phrase down. How can I make this system more efficient, save me time, money? How can I make it better? How can I do it faster? How can I simplify this system, right? And then you just constantly refine that system until it gets easier and easier and easier and smaller and smaller and smaller. Another example, back to that Google Sheet, I have a number of columns on there that not only that are now obsolete, right? Because it takes time. If I'm focused on creating video content or courses, it takes time for me to go in there and literally check that box that I did this and that I, verified the music attribution was right in a video, or I verified that I shared it to Facebook, etc. If I have a different type of checklist, a more streamlined checklist, maybe in a different spot as I'm editing the video, which is what I'm playing with now. See, I'm always looking at these things, and I encourage you to do that too. Like, be loose and open with how you do things, because if you find that you're not using a part of your system, or you're not using a tool that you created to manage your system, that's an indicator that might not be the best way to do it, right? You got to look at how you work and make it simpler. Now I'm putting checklists. Sometimes I put the checklist in my graphic software when I'm making a thumbnail on what I need to do to that thumbnail, because inevitably, sometimes I'll go back and I'll be like, oh, I forgot to put this thing in. I forgot to enhance it. I forgot to do this thing. And I don't want to have that. So checklists are the only way to keep yourself sane. Or even a simple little note doc in the folder, in that project folder, with a simple checklist. See, the simpler you can make your processes and systems, the better. Because the more complex, which the monkey mind loves to make things complex, doesn't it? So don't fall into that trap, right? Think like a machine. Like, what would a machine do, right? We all have to be machine-like in order to produce what we want in the world. Because if we get bound up in overthinking or paralysis analysis, or what's the other one? OCD, obsessing, which, oh man, that's a constant struggle for me, right? But I just push through it all the time, because what else are the options, right? Develop those systems. But thanksmonday.com. They're not a sponsor of this video, by the way. I just love their commercials. And I forgot to share with you the other commercial, which I'll make a separate video on this because I want to unpack this a little bit, is, their commercial said, hey, this is what it looks like and this is what it feels like. And as a manifester, right, you know all about that. This is what your vision board or your ideal life or business looks like. And this is what it feels like, right? We got to embody those emotions and internalize those emotions, because we know that feeling is the secret. This is the great advice and great knowledge that Neville Goddard shares with us. Also, Abraham Hicks says that feeling is your point of attraction. So feeling that way is super critical. So Monday.com hit the nail on the head twice. One, with if you're serious about your business, you got to develop systems. That's a great line. And also, two, that this is what it looks like. This is what it feels like. You got to visualize and emotionalize your goals in your business and your life. And then that propels you forward. So Monday.com, killing it in their commercials, putting an example to the great saying. And I want to remember who said this. I think it might have been the guy who wrote Advertising, My Life in Advertising, Claude Hopkins, potentially, maybe David Ogilvy, I can't remember. One of those big advertising gurus. They said that people read what interests them, and sometimes it's an advertisement. So if you can weave in value to your advertisements or to your videos above and beyond what you're teaching, you're gonna kill it. You're gonna straight up kill it. All right, I want to leave you with that. Thank you so much for watching. Check out gmarkphillips.com. Sign up to my mailing list if you're into that. I'll give you tools for conscious creators to help you push through the fear, doubt, anxiety that we all face. And we got to slay those dragons every single day to stay in momentum. There's that. Also check out courses, gmarkphillips.com/courses. I've got a bunch of new courses, all designed to help you get more of what you want in your business and your life, and use your thought and imagination and your creative ability to create the experiences that you want. That's what it's all about. So thanks so much for watching. Have an awesome day. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about Monday.com and their value-packed, simple commercials. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day. All the best, health, wealth, and success. Bye-bye.